A flight attendant refused to serve a rude passenger his meal, and what unfolded high above the clouds on Flight 319 from Denver to Miami became a viral story of courage, consequences, and unexpected kindness that would leave the nation buzzing. It started with Marcus, a boorish businessman whose harassment turned a routine flight into a battleground, targeting Naya, a soft-spoken black flight attendant with a steel core, over a simple tray of chicken and rice, until her quiet defiance sparked a passenger uprising that humbled him mid-air. By the time the plane touched down, Marcus faced airline security, a lifetime ban, and a social media storm, while Naya's stand against his bullying inspired a shy teenager to find her own voice, proving that even at 35,000 feet, justice and heart can soar. The cabin of the Boeing 737 hummed with the steady whine of engines as it sliced through the night sky. Overhead lights flickered on, signaling meal service, and the air carried the faint scent of reheated chicken and stale coffee. Nia Jackson, 34, moved down the aisle with her cart, her Navy Delta uniform crisp, her braided hair pinned neatly behind her ears. She'd been a flight attendant for 8 years, her warm brown eyes and quick smile a comfort to passengers on countless flights. Tonight, though, those eyes held a flicker of wariness. She'd spotted trouble brewing in seat 14D the moment they'd boarded in Denver. Marcus Hargrove slouched there, a beefy man in his 50s with a ruddy face and a tailored blazer that strained at the shoulders. He'd been barking complaints since takeoff. Too cold, too cramped, too slow, his voice a gravelly rasp that grated on the cabin. Nia had already fielded his demands for extra pillows and a second whiskey, her tone polite but firm. "Sir, we're limited on extras, but I'll do my best." He'd sneered, muttering under his breath, and she'd felt the sting of his glare as she walked away. Now, as she reached his row with the meal cart, he leaned into the aisle, his Rolex glinting under the lights. "Where's my food?" he snapped, loud enough for heads to turn. Nia paused, her hands steady on the cart. "It's right here, sir. Chicken or pasta?" she asked, her voice calm despite the heat creeping up her neck. Marcus scowled, jabbing a finger at the tray. "I ordered the chicken. Hurry up. I'm starving and you're moving like a snail." A teenage girl in 15A, all braces and nervous energy, shrank into her seat, clutching her phone. An older woman in a floral scarf across the aisle frowned, her knitting needles pausing. Naya slid the tray toward him, but Marcus wasn't done. He grabbed it, inspected the foil container, and shoved it back. "This looks like garbage. You call this a meal? Do your job right. I paid good money for this flight." His words dripped with venom, and the cabin tensed. Naya took a breath, her training kicking in. De-escalate, stay professional. "Sir, this is what we have tonight. I can get you something else if it's available," she offered, her smile tight. Marcus leaned closer, his breath sour with whiskey. "Maybe if you weren't so lazy, I'd have a decent meal." "Typical," he hissed, the last word loaded with a sneer that hit like a slap. The air shifted. Nia's heart thudded, but she held her ground, her 5'5" frame suddenly towering in spirit. "Sir, I'm not serving you if you can't speak respectfully," she said, her voice steady, pulling the tray back. Marcus's face flushed crimson. "You're refusing me? I'll have you fired, you little—" He stopped short, but the unspoken slur hung there, raw and ugly. The teenage girl gasped, her phone now recording. The older woman dropped her knitting, her mouth agape. A man in a Broncos cap 2 rows back muttered, "What a jerk." The confrontation spiraled fast. Marcus stood, his bulk filling the aisle, his blazer flapping as he loomed over Nia. "Give me that meal, or I'm calling your boss right now," he roared, fishing his phone from his pocket. Nia didn't flinch, her cart a barrier between them. "Sir, sit down, or I'll have to involve the captain," she warned, her tone a steel wire. Marcus laughed, a harsh bark that echoed. "Captain, I'll sue this whole airline for harassment, starting with you. You think you can talk back to me?" His finger jabbed inches from her face, and the cabin bristled. That's when the passenger snapped. The Broncos cap guy stood, his voice booming. "Hey, back off! She's doing her job!" The older woman chimed in, her floral scarf quivering with indignation. "You're the one harassing her, you bully!" A young couple in 13C nodded, the husband adding, "Sit down, man, or we're all reporting you." The teenage girl kept filming, her shaky hands capturing every word. Marcus faltered, his bravado cracking under the chorus of defiance, but he doubled down, spitting. "Mind your business, losers. I'm a platinum member." Nia seized the moment. "Sir, you're disrupting this flight. No meal, no service. Sit down now, she said, her eyes locked on his. The cart rattled as she pushed it back, a symbolic line drawn. Marcus's jaw dropped, his phone slipping in his sweaty grip. He sank into his seat, muttering curses, his pride shredded. The cabin erupted in murmurs, some shocked, some cheering. A flight attendant named Luis, a wiry man with a headset, appeared from the galley, radio crackling. "Captain's been briefed," he whispered to Nia. She nodded, her chest tight, but her head high. She'd faced bullies before, on playgrounds, in classrooms, but this time she wasn't alone. The aftermath unfolded as the plane descended into Miami. Marcus sulked, his arms crossed, staring out the window as if he could erase the last hour. Luis returned with the lead flight attendant, a no-nonsense woman named Diane who approached Marcus with a clipboard. "Sir, your behavior's unacceptable," she said, her voice cutting through the hum. "When we land, security's waiting. You're off this plane and off our airline, permanently." Marcus's head jerked up, his mouth opening to argue, but Diane's glare silenced him. "Save it for the report." The plane touched down with a jolt, and the passengers stirred. As they filed out, many paused by Nia, stationed at the door with her usual smile. The Broncos guy clapped her shoulder. "You're a champ," he said. The older woman pressed a knitted bookmark into her hand, whispering, "God bless you." The young couple nodded, the wife adding, "That guy's a creep. Good for you." Even the teenage girl, still clutching her phone, lingered. "I posted it," she mumbled, her braces glinting. "You're amazing." Nia's smile widened, a lump in her throat. "Thanks, sweetie. You're pretty brave yourself." At the gate, two security officers in crisp uniforms met Marcus, their faces stone as they escorted him away. He shuffled off, blazer rumpled, muttering about lawyers, but the fight was gone. Nia watched from the jetway, her hands trembling slightly as the adrenaline faded. Diane pulled her aside. "You okay?" she asked, softer now. Nia nodded. "Yeah, just glad it's over." Diane smirked. "It's not. Check your phone later. That kid's video's going viral." Nia laughed, a sound that lightened the weight of the night. The story didn't end in Miami. The teenage girl's video, captioned "Flight Attendant Shuts Down Rude Passenger Bully," exploded online, racking up millions of views. Clips of Marcus's tantrum and Nia's calm stand flooded TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, sparking a hashtag, #StandWithNia. News outlets picked it up. CNN ran "Airline Harassment Goes Viral," while Delta praised Nia's professionalism in a statement condemning passenger bullying. Marcus faced a lifetime ban, a hefty fine, and a public shaming that sank his consulting gig, his name a cautionary tale in airport lounges. For Nia, the real payoff came a week later, on a flight to Seattle. The teenage girl from 15A, her name was Kaylee, boarded again, this time with a shy grin. "Hi," she said, holding out a crumpled note. "I wrote this for you." Nia unfolded it. "Thanks for showing me how to stand up. I told off a bully at school yesterday." Nia's eyes misted, and she hugged Kaylee, the girl's braces flashing as she smiled back. "You're a hero," Kaylee said. Nia shook her head. "No, you are. We both are." The skies weren't always friendly, but that moment reminded Nia why she stayed aloft. She thought of Marcus, of the passengers who'd rallied, of Kaylee's newfound courage. Bullying had consequences, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, but so did standing up. As she locked the galley that night, Nia glanced out at the stars, a vow settling in her soul. To keep flying, keep fighting, keep proving that even in turbulence, kindness and strength could land safely. For every rude passenger, there'd be a Kaylee, and that was worth every mile.